Daredevil Born Again Season 2. I'm enjoying this so far. At least the first episode, I am really digging it. They took the violence of Netflix and they brought it over to Disney. I would not have expected the House of the Mouse to be so violent, but they are, and I'm digging it. There's bones breaking. He's kicking people in the head hard, and I'm digging it, man. This season takes off pretty much where the last season ended. Daredevil is on the run. Matt Murdock is on the run. The Daredevil, actually all of the Marvel shows take a little bit of what we're going through in the real world and they sprinkle it onto their shows. In this show, William Defario as Wilson Fisk is emulating a character that you may know in modern culture today. He's taken over a city. He's assigned his own personal people to go out and perform questionable missions for him. He's targeting a particular group of people, but they will put a beating on anybody that gets in the way of them going after this certain group of people. And they don't mind murder. It's all too familiar, I think. But Wilson Fisk has his people out there. These questionable police officers are going out there roughing people up, and they're looking for Matt Murdock, but they're also looking for Karen Page. Kingpin is aware of their relationship with one another, also with him. They're turning on him. So he wants them both snuffed out. Daredevil, of course, is trying to get rid of the Kingpin. He really can't do it by himself. But right now, he's kind of doing it with a little bit of help from other people. And he comes across a ship that Wilson Fisk is having brought into the city. And he knows there's something up. He's not 100% sure, but he goes there, he investigates, he does his thing. He beats the brakes off a lot of people. Then he discovers, oh man, wow, it's guns. It's rifles. It's anti-tank missile. It's a bunch of stuff. So while he's pondering what he's going to do, because it's an entire ship full of this stuff. While he's pondering on what he's going to do, the captain of the ship's like, psh, we can't let nobody catch this, catch us, find this, find that stuff. And he pushes the self-destruct button and he opens the bays and he starts to flood the ship. Daredevil has to escape the ship while it's flooding. Now here's the problem. The ship is larger than where the water level is deep. So it sinks, but not completely. It's not submerged. It's not underwater. It just went boom, and it stopped. So now investigators can check the ship out because there's a half-sunk ship in the middle of the bay. Of course, it's going to attract attention, but Fisk is the mayor, so he wants to contain it. So he sends his Gestapo out there, and his right-hand woman, his press secretary woman, Sheila, goes and tells him she's going to have everything moved to New Jersey. Don't worry about it. Yada, yada, yada. I think that statement is going to get her killed because he's trusting her. And it's Daredevil's show, so he's got to find it. That's it. That's his way of bringing Fisk down, is to prove that dude is a criminal. Look, he's running guns. It's his way of proving it. She says she'd take care of it, so she is going to get the finger across the throat eventually, because you can't make that big of a mistake with Wilson Fisk. He will end you. So Heather is working for Fisk, and she seems to have gone pretty quickly to the dark side. She's doing an interview with the swordsman, and she changes some of his answers so that he can look like a sociopath, and they can put him in jail forever. He's answering A, she's marking B, and so forth and so on. And she tells him, you're not in a place where the police can come get you. You're not in a place where your lawyer can find you. We've got you locked up somewhere where no one will find you. And if you don't answer these questions, and of course she changed the one she didn't like, if you don't answer these questions, you'll never get out of here. And that kind of sucks, knowing that nobody knows where you're at, and if she walks out, there's nobody will ever come back. So I'm thinking the swordsman is going to be a part of Daredevil's new Defenders team. I kind of think the Punisher is going to be a part of Daredevil's new Defenders team. If you saw the trailer, then you know that Jessica Jones is going to be a part of his team. I kind of feel like Luke Cage and Iron Fist are going to team up and be a part of his team. It might not happen. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but I kind of feel that. I've heard people say that they think Spider-Man's going to be in it. He's got a lot going on. He's got movies, he's got mutants, he's got all kinds of stuff. I don't think he's going to make time for this. But Punisher might not be there because it seems like they've already got a Punisher-like guy. Daredevil is in a scene where he's going to try to save a friend. Wilson Fisk's Gestapo-type police have decided that they're going to run up on this dude and unalive him. And Daredevil shows up, of course. And he's winning the fight. He's beating the dudes up and everything. And then he has an existential moment. He can hear his friend either having a stroke or a heart attack. He can hear some abnormalities with that dude's heart. And he's like, oh man, I remember when Foggy died. Oh. And he just in the middle of a fist fight just starts like, oh man, Foggy's gone. This is very similar. What? This dude's a trained boxer. This dude's a trained fighter. This dude is a trained ninja. This dude is trained by the chaste. A super group of ninja trained him, and their master trained him personally. He's been in hundreds of fights, probably hundreds of fights. And because you got to remember, he's been fighting since he was a kid, and he's been Daredevil for a while. So he's been in hundreds of fights. If you've ever been in a fight, then you know in the middle of a fight, you're not supposed to just go, yeah, I remember that. I think I'll have French fries for dinner. You're not supposed to wander off because you are going to catch a beating. If you just drift off, much like he did, you are going to get the business. And he got it. I mean, it's freaking Daredevil. But they gave him that work. They dropped him, and they were beating him and kicking him and kicking him and beating him and beating him and kicking him. And then somebody gets the bright idea to take his mask off. And they pull his mask off his head. Spoiler. Be prepared. They pull his mask off his head, and one of them goes, "Oh my God, it's Matt Murdock." And he immediately takes his gun out because these guys are murderers. He takes his gun out and points it at Matt's head because he's going to give him, a 45 caliber court martial right there. He points the gun at Murdoch's head, and then you hear, and the dude just crumbles and falls on the ground. And I'm thinking, the Punisher's there, and you hear, and another dude gets hit. And then I notice, I'm like, they both got hit directly in the eye. And the third guy gets hit. And then something, and I'm like, it's the Punisher. I guess the Punisher's going to be in the show. And then something hits the ceiling, and from the ceiling it hits the floor. And I just look at the TV and I scream, because the Punisher doesn't really do ricochets. A completely different guy does ricochets. And in this series, because it wouldn't be Hawkeye, the other guy, and it wouldn't be Captain America, the other guy that does ricochet shots that would shoot people in their eye and unalive them, bullseye. It hits the ceiling and it hits the ground, and I'm like, because I know who it is. And they do a close-up of the thing that struck the ground. It's a black knife with a bullseye in the center. And written on it is, "Your bullseye, welcome. You're welcome." Bullseye's going to join the Defenders team. The heroes aren't going to dig it because he's a murderer, but they're going to need him, and Murdoch is like, he saved my life. He knows who I am. He knows I'm Matt Murdock. He saw me. And he threw the knife. And even though he has incredible skill, pinpoint accuracy, that was a hand-thrown knife. So I'm thinking he was probably right outside the window. Or close, because he threw the knife, and he could see the light, and it hit the ceiling, hit the light, and then landed right in front of Daredevil. That's crazy accuracy. I've always thought they were going to eventually say that Bullseye was a mutant, because his accuracy is crazy. Crazy. I'd like to say he's more accurate than Hawkeye. There was a comic book run where the villains take over the Avengers, and they got different villains pretending to be different Avengers. Spawn becomes Spider-Man. Spider-Man was in the Avengers at the time. Dakan, Wolverine's son, becomes Wolverine. They don't become him. They just put their costumes on and pretend to be these people. And Hawkeye is being portrayed by Bullseye. And he proves to be at least just as accurate as Hawkeye with arrows. He's accurate with anything. And I'm thinking that level of accuracy with anything, that sounds like a superpower. But, I guess you could train yourself to be that good, but you'd have to work with playing cards, toothpicks, bottles of juice, a tooth out of his own mouth. When would you learn to throw or to spew your own tooth with enough accuracy and force to blind someone? You threw a knife. You've been practicing throwing a knife and hitting the ceiling and letting it land directly in front of somebody's face. You practiced that? Because I got to tell you, I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps. And we practiced a lot. But I practiced hitting a target. I never practiced ricocheting off a wall to hit a target, or 3 or 4 ricochets to hit a target. And I think I was accurate. I was accurate enough that if you were on the opposing side of the field, you were in danger. But this dude never misses. The only time he misses is if, like, say, Daredevil or Captain America blocks it. If they didn't block it, it still would have hit its target. You can stop the projectile in the air, but the accuracy still remains there. If you don't stop it, it will hit. He never misses. That sounds like a superpower. And since they're rolling in the mutants and possibly the mutant saga, that could be a thing that they reveal. But either way, Bullseye was there, and it had me screaming at the TV, because that's kind of cool, man. Because Bullseye from the previous season was one of my favorite characters. Bullseye from the Netflix was one of my favorite characters. I dig that dude. As far as comic book villains, Bullseye is in my top 5. And I dig that, man. I dig that. But I would give Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 1, 9 bags of popcorn. 9 bags of popcorn. If Bullseye had killed a bunch of people, you know, like in the room fighting them, then yeah, it might have been a 10. But 9 bags of popcorn. But that's what I think about that. More importantly, what do you think about that? Now that you had a chance to look at the video, let's talk about it some more in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.